Hello everyone, you're watching Newcastle United Life and Times YouTube channel, and today we are live. I'm joined on today's show by Paul, Len and Alan, and we're here to discuss all the shenanigans surrounding Newcastle United. So we'll start with Newcastle's excellent 2-0 result last night, which has propelled us into the 5th round of the FA Cup. So Alan, do you want to kick it off?
Good result. Can't say much about the game. Not much entertainment wise, to be honest. Fulham had more of the initiative over. We were playing more on the back foot. But if you look at the stats, they had 14 shots. We only had 8, but we took the chances better. We had 6 on target today too. But they had more possession. So we're playing away from home, and when we're playing away from home, you always think of the worst. But it was nice to see the 2 local lads on the score sheet, of course. But I'm not going to slag off Dan Burn too much. But if I'm sitting there as Tino Livramento on the bench, and I'll be thinking to myself, what do I need to get a start in this team after having some great performances when Dan Burn was out, and then it just seems Dan Burn's whacked back into the team again. We need to start looking more to the future. You know what I mean? But
Alan, he got man of the match last night. I'll just put that in.
Hey, he scored a goal. I'm not going to slag that off too much. But the notable things were Miggy and Lascelles' absence. Lascelles picked up a knock or something.
Illness, I think, Miggy.
Well, Miggy was illness. Definitely Miggy was illness after being linked with moves away from the club. But, look at some of the positives of it. The defence played well. We defended well. And I like to pick out Lewis Miley again. And our solid performance from a 17-year-old midfielder. He's just coming on leaps and bounds. And our solid performance. But last night's result means this is the first Newcastle United back-to-back wins in the FA Cup without a replay since what year, boys? What year? Come on. When was the last time we had back-to-back wins in the FA Cup without a replay?
2006. 2006.
Len, what did we say before we went on? You put it out somewhere.
Before we went on, Anders, I gave you high praise indeed. I says,
you pulled it out. It's 2000.
I wouldn't have got
that. Young Anderson, the answer.
2000.
I wouldn't have got that. Was it?
On the whole, we went again and done a job. We've done a job and went into the next round, which is a good draw for us. But we'll no doubt touch on that in a bit.
Blackburn Wrexham the next round, so it's a good draw. It's a good draw.
It's a really good draw. Everyone's we'll probably get Liverpool at Anfield or Man City down at the Etihad, but I take that all day long.
Paul, what was your take on the game last night?
Well, my take was the first half I was on an aeroplane, Rob. that was my take on it.
We're not playing tennis.
I was waiting to be luggage, and I heard we went 1-0 up. And then obviously I got back for the second half. But I think the most important thing last night was just getting through, wasn't it? With the problems we've been having, especially where away form's been pretty poor all season, to be honest with you. I thought the bits I seen last night in the second half, they seemed to be they weren't pressing as much. We played like a 4-5-1 and trying to play on the break. Where Isak I think you thought he was very isolated last night. And Gordon, obviously Murphy ran out of steam in the second half. The bits I seen, Gordon, he wasn't one of his better games, Gordon. I think my final ball was pretty poor last night. But I think, like Alan said, I thought Miley had another good game. Dan Burn looked good again. I did think we defended quite well compared to the last few games where we've conceded a lot of chances. We did seem to be tighter last night. I think Botman getting fit as a bigger as well, isn't it? Because Botman sort of marshals them and he tells them where to go and blocks a lot of stuff. Dubravka made a couple of good saves, one especially in the first half where he tipped it round the post. But all in all, I think, like Alan said, the two local lads got on the score sheet. I still think there's room for improvement, but like I said, it's just getting into the next round was all that matters, because I think if we went out the FA Cup last night and were 10th in the league, then, you know, the alarm bells would have started ringing, wouldn't they? And obviously we've got a few more days left of the window and we'll see who we're going to bring in. But I think Lascelles will be away. I'm not sure about Miggy, but I think Lascelles will be away, and I think he'll bring one in because Manquillo's gone as well, hasn't he? So that'll free a bit of wages up. So
there's a rumour that Lascelles has asked for his contract to be terminated.
He's only got another 5-6 months left, hasn't he?
Until summer. But Newcastle want a transfer fee for him.
I was going to say, can it just say I want to terminate it? Can he? And just
he's trying to get it mutually. He's asked the club supposedly and said, "Oh, can I have it terminated on a mutual grounds?" Supposedly.
I know Manquillo did. Manquillo did something similar, didn't he? He sort of, if it was an offer from abroad, he could go.
Yeah,
so maybe he's the mate out. I mean, he has been there 10 years, Lascelles, hasn't he? More or less, not far off.
Aye.
So I think they might do, like they might give him that, but just frees a lot of wages off again, doesn't it? So we'll see who he brings in, you know.
Excellent. Len, what was your take last night?
Well, it's similar to Paul in many respects. Whilst I wasn't on a plane, I was looking after my granddaughters, and we're just coming down, passing through the living room, and Dan Burn, the mighty Dan Burn, scoring a goal. Just as I went through the living room, I thought, whoa, I'm going to have to stop here. So I did watch the last half an hour of the match and caught up with bits of highlights of the match of the day this morning. But to be honest, it was a match apart from the goals, as you say, Al. It's great to see two local lads scoring. Great to see Dan Burn get man of the match. He was by far the most outstanding player on the pitch. Certainly in the bit I watched, you know, because I think it seemed to be the target. Like a lot of clubs have sort of targeted that side of the pitch, and you know, he seemed to deal with everything. So he had a really busy day. But to be honest, as you both said so far, Newcastle United got less of the ball but did more with it, and certainly the last half an hour I watched, we weren't in any doubt whatsoever. So I was really pleased, because I think going into the game I feared we could get beat, we might get a draw, might get a replay. So to win fairly comfortably in the end, really happy. And luck has been on our side with regards to the draw for the next round, because you know, can easily go and beat either Blackburn or possibly Wrexham, depending on what the outcome of that match is. So, and I think it keeps our season alive, Rob. You know, I think had we, similar to what Paul's saying, I think we've only got the FA Cup really to play for this season, and I think if we'd been dumped out of that, we would have been a long push towards the summer, you know, particularly with the transfer market looking like nothing much is really happening. And if anything does, it looks like players are going out rather than coming in.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So, right, we're in the 5th round now.
Great.
Now, that's going to be played at end of February. Is it a midweek game?
I'm sure it's midweek. I'm sure that Tuesdays and Wednesday nights, the 5th round. I'm sure it is.
Are they?
I think so.
We haven't been this far for a long time, so we wouldn't know.
I mean, I think it's a good draw. I know, like, we're not at home, but if you look at the calibre of the opposition, there's no reason why we can't go there and do a professional job.
Well, I think for Blackburn, I think you'd be talking about 8,000-9,000 tickets. You'd have the whole end for that. It'd be more like a home game, that, to be honest. And our Wrexham's ground only holds about, is it 12,000? Because we've got one end behind the goal now. Nothing there. So I don't know how many would get for Wrexham, but actually, to be honest, I'd rather play Blackburn.
Just to confirm what I'm reading on the unofficial NUFC website, Wednesday the 28th of February is our match.
Is it?
It'll be on the telly. I think it'll be on the telly no matter who we play.
No, well, fingers crossed for that one then. So, yeah, happy days. Right, we'll
have the majority of our players back as well, though, Rob.
Yeah.
Talking even next week, Wilson, Barnes and Willock could possibly be back for Villa. If not,
Do you know what it is,
Saying
Paul?
so.
Paul, I know you say that, and I'm optimistic. You know, I want to be optimistic about it, but you've been saying that for weeks, that these players are coming back and they're still not back.
No, but they've got the boots on now. They're actually full.
Oh, they've got the boots on, aye.
They've got the boots on, so hopefully.
Happy
No,
days.
but they
They're
did
not
have setbacks. They were due
Not
back
Newcastle.
then, but the two of them had setbacks.
Hey, I'm not blaming you, Paul.
They were,
Right, so-
you are blaming me.
False storms,
Right.
false hoops.
We'll swiftly move on to Tuesday night, where we're away at Aston Villa, 8:15 kick-off live on TNT Sports. I'll be honest with you, I'll be more than happy with a point right here, right now. How do you see that one going, Paul?
Well, I think if we play like we did yesterday, I think we'll get beat. Because I think Villa are a much better side, and they've definitely got more up front than Fulham had. They could have played all night; they wouldn't have scored.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. It's like we can't play any worse than we did there last year. That was our worst performance of the season. 3-0, wasn't it? But what gives us a bit of hope is Villa play a very high line, and we've got a lot of pacey players. So I can see Isak and Gordon getting in. It's just our final ball needs to be a lot better than it was last night. I think it just seemed to work the other way last night. I don't know. I know I played a lot of games in a short period, but last night it looked like we hadn't played for 2 weeks. It was the other way around. They looked rusty. So it can work both ways, can't it? So I know they had a week off as well. That probably wouldn't have helped them. If they had a week off training, I don't know. I know they needed it, but I don't think that would have helped them. We might, I don't know, might have another new player in by then as well. There's rumours about Billing, isn't there? Coming from Bournemouth. But we'll see. But I think we will definitely have to defend well because they're really strong at home, aren't they, Villa? Got a really good home record. And our away record's atrocious this season. So we'll have to play it like I'm with you, Rob. I think I'll be happy with the point, to be honest.
Yeah. Alan, how would you say it going?
Well, to add to that form, I've got a few little stats here for you boys. The last time we scored at Villa was September 2013.
Last time we scored?
In the top flight, right? The last time we scored. Because we played them in the Championship in a 1-1 draw, but they scored an own goal. So we've never scored then.
Yeah, I was there. I think I was at that game.
Top 5 visits since then. We've had 2 0-0 draws. We've had 4 losses.
And we got relegated on that ground, don't forget. We got relegated there as well, didn't we?
Where was that going? Who was the last
got
player?
relegated first time.
Who was the last player that scored Villa?
13-14 was it CCL Bar?
Nah.
13-14.
September 2013.
I'm terrible at quizzes, so I'm opting out of this question. I'm going to ask the audience.
Johan Gouffran.
Gouffran. Oh, Gouffran, yeah.
Really, yeah.
And so that means it's been 557 minutes. We've played at Villa and not scored.
Yeah, well, that'll change on Tuesday.
That'll change Tuesday.
To add to that, John Brooks is refereeing. The last game he refed was
not Brooksy.
2-1 defeat against Liverpool when he sent off Van Dijk. But he also refereed last season's game at Villa.
Oh.
And on ball is Andy.
Can I ask you a question, Paul, about referees? On a number of times when Al's come up with his, the referee for the next match is whoever, your head always drops down as if you shake your head as if they are not him. Can I
just doesn't like referees.
It's the standard of officiating. I certainly don't like it.
But like I say, on VAR is Madley. Anna loves Madley.
But Len, I will say this: it depends how far my head drops. If it's not too much, then he's not so bad. If it drops to my knees, then he's terrible. So that's what you've got to look at. It's the standard of the drop. Yeah.
I'm going. By the way, I'm going for a 2-0 defeat.
2-0 defeat.
Okay.
Okay, Len, what's your predictions? How do you see it going?
Well, I've been thinking about this one for a while. You know, I've sort of lumping again a few matches together, really sort of thinking, right, well, I hope we're progressing the FA Cup. I think we'll get thrashed off Aston Villa, and then I think we'll win 2 or 3 in a row. So I'm going to stick with that. I think we'll score on Tuesday night. I think Villa an exceptional side this season. I can see us getting beat 3-1.
3-1. Yeah.
I'm going to score.
I'll take a draw. I'll go 1s each. I would have moved with that, like. But
Paul, what are you going for? Have you expressed an opinion?
Well, I'm waiting for Rob to ask us what my prediction is. If he kindly will.
I just thought you would have chipped in. You would have said at the end, but you just said, "Oh, I think we'll, you know." So,
how do you play it for you? What do you want?
How do you see? How do you see the score going, Paul?
Oh, thanks, Rob. Right.
The
match will have kicked off by the time you ask us.
It'll be finished by the time you give us the answer.
Well, me head and me heart say 2 different things.
Oh, yeah, we're covering bases again, Rob.
Wait, I can only take one answer, just whatever.
Well, me heart wants 6-0 win, but me head's saying 5-0. No, I think it'll be 1s each. I'm going by 1-1.
The same as Rob again.
No, that's what I think.
That's his opinion, Alan. You know, it's how it works.
I think he's pretty smoking something because.
I think they have slipped up a couple of times lately. I mean, they got a late goal against Sheffield United. They were 1-0 down against Sheffield United. Then I just think with a high back line, we can get in behind them. The teams with pace, they struggle against.
All them stats I've rattled off the ease, and you're still going for a 1-1 draw. A team in form.
Stats are there to be beaten.
Stats are there to change. To be changed.
Exactly.
I'm just thinking, what did you say there, Paul?
For a game.
Paul, did you say stats are there to be beaten? Is that a well-known phrase you use around your way?
No, it's just a phrase. It's a phrase I've just made up.
I'm going to start using that. I quite like it. It means nothing, but I like it.
Oh, thank you for liking that. I think it is a good saying, and it could catch on.
I don't think it'll catch on, but no. It's only you can pull it off.
We're going to talk about the transfer window now, Rob.
By the way, can I just touch on something? I've just looked at the chat here, live chat. Josh Anders, 3-0 Newcastle.
Aye.
How'd you get live chat on there, like? You've got technology at your house, haven't you?
I thought Bruno had a very poor game yesterday. Couldn't get comfortable. Yeah, I agree, Josh. Yeah, I don't think Bruno.
No, I thought first half. That's the worst I've seen. First half.
So you're going 3-0.
Newcastle,
Josh. Yeah.
You want to check what's in his drinks?
Yeah, very interesting. So, Paul, you've just come back from Tenerife. You've been there, 10 days?
11 days.
11 days, aye. Weather nice?
Yeah, it was beautiful, thanks.
How was the course?
Sorry?
How was the course?
The course was, it was good, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to watch any matches over there when you were over?
No, because I think when we just played Man City when I went over. If I had got through the semi-final, I would have been able to watch it, but obviously we didn't. So I didn't know.
It's great when you're abroad and Newcastle's on. Like it's just great, and you put your tune top on and what I in.
And you were there last year, weren't you? When we won the semi-final, you were there, weren't you?
Aye, it's great. Really good.
Actually, Rob, you're right. You know, it's. I remember being over in Benidorm for the cup final last year, and it was just, you know, it's just probably the second best place to watch a match, isn't it? You know, rather than being, if you can't be there, just being abroad, having a few beers, enjoying the day. You know, regardless of the result, you're right. It's a nice place to watch football anywhere. So
well, we were there for we were in Benidorm for the PSG home game, and that night they were just we were like celebrities. You'd think we'd played in the match. It was fantastic. Mackham's coming up here shaking your hand, and Man U fans, I couldn't believe it.
I know, I was at the match, you know, so I can beat you on that one, Paul. It was excellent.
Mm-hmm. Well done.
Liverpool have beaten Norwich 4-2.
4-2 now, is it right?
Oh, 4-2. Right. How many minutes left on that, Rob?
5 minutes. 5 minutes. So
that's Liverpool. I don't think there was any standout ties. I mean, Brighton had Wolves, but there wasn't many big games. Like, really, was there?
Well, Maidstone turned our Ipswich. That
was brilliant. That I watched.
Yeah,
I watched that. It was 2 shots on target, 2 goals. What can you say? The first goal was tremendous.
That's the essence of what the FA Cup's all about, though, isn't it? You know, that's why it's such a, for me, it's one of the best competitions in the world. You know, when you get a result like that.
I don't think they've got a massive draw, have they? I don't know who they got, but I don't think...
Oh, they were in the last 4, weren't they? And the Man City was still in it. I thought, God, they're going to get Man City here. But I think Man City got Luton, and I'm not sure. They got, was it Sheffield or Southampton? Was someone like that?
No, that was Liverpool.
Was it?
Liverpool guy. Hey, we're on the ball here, lads, aren't we, with this FA Cup draw?
I think it was... And once Newcastle came out, I wasn't asked. I wasn't bothered.
Yeah.
Anyway, transfer window, Rob. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I think it's looking like there's not going to be too much movement. You'd guess there's going to be definitely one out, and maybe he's one in, and it was certainly can't afford to lose a player without having somebody lined up. So Almiron obviously is a one that looks like it could happen, and you think, well, as long as we bring somebody in straight away within the window, I think that'll be all right. Even though I wouldn't get rid of him personally, but if it means we can sign somebody, that'd be great. And Lascelles.
Do you think we'll get anyone better than Mickey?
Well, in most people's opinion, yes, we will, but not in mine. No, I don't think we will.
Do you think if Miggy goes, they might bring Mintier back from Feyenoord? Was rumours about that?
Don't know. That's a cheap way of doing things, isn't it?
Gibbs White was mooted in that, wasn't he? Gibbs White was linked.
His agent apparently. His agent met with Newcastle. I know that.
Rudiger's missing in some games. Is he an improvement on Mickey?
I mind I thought he was fantastic up here when they played us. Like, he was man of the match.
I was just going to ask a question. Is there any hurry to get rid of the likes of Almiron? Because, you know, can we not just... I'd rather just keep Almiron till the end of the season and then see how we are then, really. Because you're going to bring a new player in. You're going to bring a new player in who probably isn't going to give you what Almiron will give you in the last 10 or 15 games. So I would just stick around till the summer and would still get the same amount of money for him, surely.
Can't slag off Mickey for his work rate. It's his finishing.
Aye, but do you get rid of him in January when you haven't got a ready-made replacement?
Definitely not.
Anyway.
Definitely not.
That's the
you've got to have someone lined up. I just said that before. You've got to have someone lined up, especially the state of the team at the minute. You've got to have someone ready and winning. Now, if you can bring someone in who has half the work rate as Mickey and who can finish, that's a bit of an upgrade.
I think ultimately you could get rid of Miggy, right? If everybody's fit, I would have no problem because I think, right, Miggy can go for 20 million. You've got Harvey Barnes playing on the right. He'll start every single week. Miggy's going to be on the bench probably anyway. But
Barnes very rarely plays on the right, though. He'd have to switch Gordon.
Okay, well, Gordon and Barnes have played down the wings. So, you know, Miggy probably won't get as many games. But the problem is everybody's not fit. So I just wouldn't want to lose any numbers. As you say, Manquillo already gone. So we're already one player down from where we were before the window opened. Another
option is Livramento. You could push him further forward. He could play wing.
Without a doubt, he's great going forward. That gets him in the team, assuming Trippier stays. It looks like he is.
But it's a stopgap, isn't it? I mean, I definitely think Lascelles will go. I can see that. I could possibly see that Lloyd Kelly coming in from Bournemouth. Maybe because he can play left back as well. I'm not sure in this window, but possibly in the summer because I think we might need 2 centre halves in the summer. I think Fabian Shaw's 31, 32.
I've got a feeling Eddie Howe, between the lines, I've got a feeling Eddie Howe will be happy just to stick where he is and keep what we've got and not bother bringing anybody in and don't lose anybody. Yeah, that's what I think. And I think if we do that, then we can have a steady end of the season, you know, a canny end of the season. But I think
how far are these players away? How far are these injured players away?
Well, that's it. But having said that, there's no movement in the transfer market. We're not missing out on anybody, to be honest. £47 million, that's all that's been spent this window, and it's not going to go much. There's not going to be no big signings, so it's not like anybody's signing anybody. And I think,
let's be honest, I'm going to make this all cringe here, but it is going to be a flashback. But these players coming back, be like a new signing.
Oh, I know. Well, funny enough, I nearly was going to say that. but it's true. It's actually true in this occasion. If we get Harvey Barnes back in a couple of weeks' time, that's like a new step. You know, if we'll get it back. I mean, Paul obviously keeps promising he's coming back, and he hasn't yet, but he will. And Willett will as well.
Him and Wilson are on the bench. He'll be on the bench on Tuesday then. Willett might possibly the weekend.
Problem with Wilson is, you know, he'll come back in and he'll be injured again. So, you know.
Well, that's the thing. I think we need another striker. We definitely need a young striker coming in, even on loan. Because what if Isaac gets injured, then you're left with nobody again.
I think I would have one in now in January if we could just get a hold of somebody. Like you say, it doesn't matter who it is, just play number 9.
He leans on that frigging Gordon, but Gordon's not the right sort of striker.
No, he's not.
Well, he's not a striker, Alan.
I know,
he's not a striker.
He played everything and stuff like that, but he's not like he's not like a natural striker. See,
I know Barnes has played there as well, but he's not fit still, is he?
See, we need someone like that Joe Pedro, who's at Brighton now, and
he's banging them in.
18
goals this season or something he's got.
He scored a hat-trick again.
Yeah, 2 penalties.
So where do you see
that ilk? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Where do you see us ending the season? Then what position would you be happy with? Bearing in mind the injuries, etc., for the Champions League, etc., etc. What would you say would be a successful season? What position?
I'll be honest now. I would be a bit disappointed if we qualify for the Europa Conference, because I just think it's another distraction we don't need.
What, you'd rather finish lower down the league?
Well, no, just outside of it. But what would you
not get into Europe and attract more players?
We this what is at the minute.
But Alan will strengthen in the summer, then they'll have Tonali back as well, man. They're going to have a bigger squad next season.
Well, how much do you think we'll get free up in the summer? Because they're already pleading hard up with the FFP at the minute.
Aye, but Alan, you've got to remember, Richie, Dummett, all them are going to be away. That's a lot of wages freed up.
They should have been gone by now, man, but they kept giving them extensions.
Well, they'll not be this season, I tell you that for nothing.
So anyway, would you be happy?
Rob, just to answer your question as to where we think we'll end up. You know, I think if we can go on a Canny Cup run, I'll tell you what, if we can win the Cup, even better. If a Canny Cup run and finish 10th, I think you just basically look at the season as a whole and you think it's actually, if you provided we'll finish reasonably strongly, it's been a great season with many good matches. The Champions League's been great. And I think if we'll finish 10th and we'll progress to the semi-finals or the final or even win the Cup, I think that'd be tremendous. I mean, obviously, if you win the Cup, it's the best season in my lifetime. So, on all of our lifetimes.
There's a question, Len. Would you say finishing 10th and winning the FA Cup is more successful than last season? Is that I would took that step more?
Without a shadow of a doubt.
I would take the Cup. I would take the Cup.
I'd finish 4th bottom. I've always said, many years, I'd finish 4th bottom of the league and win a Cup. And I've said that for the last 15 years.
I would take a little bit of a slide, a bit of a hit, like the silverware in the camera. And what with the FA Cup comes Europe. But, you know, as long as we've got a bit of silverware to show forward.
Players want to win things. Players want to win things, and supporters more so even want to win things, you know. And we've not won anything in my lifetime. Well, in fact, we haven't. So I'd look forward to the day when we do.
But Alan, does that mean you don't want us to win the FA Cup because we'll get into Europe?
No, I've just said there, Paul. Now, when you watch this back, I've just said I would take you if we won the FA Cup. I would rather see a bit of silverware and get into Europe that way than just finishing 6th with nothing to show for it.
Right.
Okay.
Where do you see we're finishing, Paul? What would you consider a success at the end of the season?
I think when we get the Villa match out of the way, we've got quite a good run of games, haven't we? We've played obviously Man City, Liverpool, Villa twice. I think we've got a good run coming up. Obviously, it's winning them games, but I think we've proved if we haven't got like a big backlog of fixtures and we'll get players back, I think the intensity we'll play at, and he can switch. It's all been about making subs, hasn't it? He hasn't been able to change anything. Yeah, I went 4 or 5 games with the same 11 and no subs. I mean, that's got to take a bearing on the squad, hasn't it?
Oh, definitely.
So I think we'll definitely have a better second half of the season. I can see we're finishing about 6th. I think we're only 4 or 5 points off now. It's not that. We're not that far off. The top 4 is obviously out of reach, but top 5, and I think 6th or 7th will finish. And obviously, is the semi-finals at Wembley as well? Are they still at Wembley?
I don't think so.
But no, Paul, I haven't been this far for a hell of a long time.
I believe so, but don't quote us on it, but I think they are.
I think they are.
I think they are, aren't they?
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to at least the semi-final, possibly final, and 6th or 7th. I think we'll be happy with that, with the start we've made, really.
Yeah. Look, if we're going to win the FA Cup, man, we'll forget about getting knocked out of the Champions League. We'll forget about getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup. We'll just forget everything. That'll just,
exactly.
You know.
So the date for the diary, Rob, is Saturday the 25th of May. It's the cup final, so put that in your diary.
Blue day.
Okay. Saturday. Yeah,
when's the semi-finals, Len? When are the semi-finals?
Semi-finals 20th of April. That's a Saturday, and then 16th of March for the quarters. So we're marching on to Wembley by the sounds of it. If we're getting these in the diary now.
Well, hopefully. Get a decent draw.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to get a home draw.
There's worse teams than Newcastle United have won the FA Cup over the years, so, you know.
Portsmouth, Wigan.
Sunderland.
Like we touched on this earlier, Paul, every team that's won the FA Cup, right, they've all had the rub of the green at some point in one of the rounds. They've all had a decision go their way. So you do need the rub of the green, you know, you do.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what team you are, you need things to go your way, and hopefully, you know, it's...
We were seeing that last night because
it's got a name on it.
Ruled out the first goal last night with a hand, because VAR could have easily ruled it out with VAR. So we got that decision, so we're all getting over the green.
Actually, on the subject of VAR, although we nearly went a full show without discussing it, I think it's absolutely ridiculous in the FA Cup that if the match is at a Premier League ground, VAR is switched on, and if it's not at a Premier League ground, there is no VAR. I think that's ridiculous. It needs to be no VAR. It's because
if they had had it at the Chelsea game, then that lad would have been sent off against goal.
Yeah, but it's like playing two different sets of rules, depending on where you play, where you happen to be playing. So we need to sort that out for next season.
Can I just mention as well, I thought last night's game, Lee Dixon and that Tilsley were a disgrace. They were absolutely terrible. Lee Dixon went, what we could do with now is a Fulham goal.
Oh, I heard that, yeah.
So biased. It was unbelievable.
Actually,
that goal shouldn't have stood. But why not? It was accidental handball. They didn't even know the rules.
On a positive note about last night's match, bear in mind I only did watch the last half an hour. The Newcastle United supporters were absolutely amazing. They went through every. I mean, obviously Shearer was amongst it as well. That must have gotten everyone going a bit. But every single song I think that's ever been sung was sung last night at Craven Cottage. So the supporters were magic. Bearing in mind it was a crappy kickoff at 7 o'clock at night. The fans certainly had been were in the mood, and that came over really well on the television, I thought.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It wasn't the best game by far.
No. Well, they've been boycotting it because of the price of the tickets. They said the cheapest adult ticket was £40. So that's a lot of money. I mean, I know that is the going rate, but you know, for cup games, surely, you know, they can come up with something better than that, particularly when it's on telly. But no, it was a great atmosphere. But all the sound coming from the Newcastle end.
Mm-hmm. All you're gonna have to get a day's holiday in for the cup final day, just in case. I'll put your holiday in now.
I think that is my week off.
Is it? Can you imagine that, man?
Oh no.
We say it every year, don't we? You know.
I know. Yeah. We may as well.
Every single year.
It's our year.
Well, since the takeover,
No, we've been saying it all every year since I was born. This is the year.
There's always next when you get knocked out. There's always next season.
We'll always concentrate on the league, and you know, all the usual.
We'll concentrate on Europe. Yeah.
I do think under this ownership, though, we won't be waiting too long before we do win a trophy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
No, I think this season we have been very unlucky. Like things have went against we're late in games and the squad.
The injuries that's been
Tonali, it's been a freak season for
I just think like I said, Champions League came too soon. I think it was nice to get. Don't get us wrong, it's great we qualified and everything like that, but they weren't expecting it. and you've seen it by the documentary. Oh, Champions League this early in the,
Yeah, but you've got to
3 or 4
remember,
years
Alan,
ahead.
as well. You've got to remember the 2 key signings in the summer. Barnes and Tonali was probably about 80 or 90 million pound, and they've played about 5 games between the two of them.
Mm.
That was your budget, and then they got Lewis Hall on loan with an obligation for 30 million, and the kids hardly played. I don't know if that one will come off.
Was he on the bench?
What's the odds of that happening? But when you're talking about Tonali, we're best not.
But Hall wasn't even on the bench, was he, yesterday?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he was. Unused, I suppose.
I was unused.
Don't
But
understand
that's
that
what
one.
I'm saying. When I touched on Tino Livramento and maybe his Hall, this money's been shelled out for these players, which, they're just sitting on the bench. How much did we pay for Livramento? 31 million.
Yeah, but I think he will prove to be worth that, Alan.
Yeah, he will.
Aye, but we don't want to, you're knocking the lad, when he's had an excellent run of form, and then Dan Burn comes in and there's
but Al, you've got to trust in the manager. The manager has the back four, and the keeper who's unfortunately injured is at the minute. It's the back four as a unit works perfectly for us, and he obviously trusts those players. He obviously trusts him more than he trusts Livramento, and that's a simple fact. And we've got to, at the end of the day, we don't concede a lot of goals when we have that settled back four.
I think, though, Len, he made a mistake when he brought him back for the Forest game because he got turned twice off Chris Wood.
Yeah, he did.
Obviously, you needed pace on the wing for that one. That's totally I would have brought Burn back, but not as early as he did.
I agree.
How do you think Dubravka's been? I think he's been pretty.
It's got better.
Pretty impressive, he
was ropey when he came in, but he hadn't played for about a year, had he? So
he's looked more comfortable, isn't he?
I said that a few weeks ago when you were slagging us off, like.
No, I think Dubravka has proven to be a more than capable deputy for Nick Pope, and I've certainly, if you've got priorities in the transfer market and money's tight, I wouldn't be prioritising a keeper. I think there is other areas that need attention before we start looking at somebody, because to go out and sign somebody better than Dubravka, not the easiest thing in the world to do.
That's the point. We've got Karius as well as a deputy, and he done no wrong in the Carabao Cup, to be honest. He couldn't believe anything. He was all right, you know what I mean? So definitely, I fully agree. Prioritise other positions over the goalkeeper. I think we're all right there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What do you think we need to do in the transfer market, Rob?
Me, I think we could. Well, we need another striker. Goalkeeper's not an issue. We need another striker, and I would. You know about January?
Yeah.
Aye.
Striker.
What about with the Joe Linton situation? Because we've lost that big, powerful player in midfield, haven't we? Do you not think possibly Billen or Onana could come in?
Striker for me.
Depending on who leaves, I think it's going to be a busy last 2 or 3 days. I think something's going to happen major.
Depends who goes out, how much money we can generate. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about buying players when we don't know what budget we've got.
But they had a big meeting at Newcastle the other day, didn't they? I mean, His Excellency was at the match yesterday, and he's been in Newcastle and London.
Right.
And you didn't do them big meetings if nothing's rumbling away.
No. Just got to wait and see. I mean, I tend not to get on Twitter now and read all, because honestly, my head was getting battered. There's that many stories going wrong. I just sit back and just let it all unfold.
I think what will happen, Rob, is we'll just say Almiron, for example. If Almiron happens, then 1 or 2 things happen. If Almiron doesn't happen, nothing happens. So I think it'll trigger off, probably not just for Newcastle United, but for other clubs who seem wary of going into the transfer market. It'll just take one move that might trigger off 2 or 3, like Paul says. Could be a big finish to the transfer window. I personally don't think it will be. I think it'll be a damn squib, and we'll all be sitting on Thursday night, not just Newcastle supporters, but I don't think much is going to happen at all. I hope I'm proven wrong, and I hope we'll have a couple of moves that are going to be positive for Newcastle United. But I'll be happy sticking with what we've got, though, to be honest.
I think someone might come in for Wilson as well.
No, I've heard that, yeah.
But then you're down to 1 striker. So
I know.
They wouldn't let him go until they had a replacement.
No, they couldn't, Rob, man. I mean, I think if you look at the summer for somebody like Wilson, you'd be thinking, right, he's injury prone. It's time for him to move on. But certainly not at the minute, and certainly not until you get a replacement and at least equal ability and proven track record.
This is where FFP needs to be looked into and overhauled, because it's out of date.
I know, it just feels like it's unfair, doesn't it?
Stifling sales and transfer windows and all that, so
And it's ironic, isn't it? Just when we're in a situation where we could compete in the transfer market, we're not allowed to compete in the transfer market.
And that's right.
Yeah.
Right, right. Anything else you want to touch on, chaps?
Anderson's course at
Oh yeah, he's been doing something to do.
Tenerife, man. You know, sporting course he's been doing.
Was it tennis?
What, are you referring to that picture that was circulating on social media?
He was on social media. I'll have a shot.
Well, what do you want to elaborate a little on what you were up to in relation to this picture, Paul?
I've been having a few games of tennis while I've been abroad.
Oh, have you? Is there any evidence of this, though? That's what I want to know.
I don't think so.
No, there won't be.
Dear me.
That's madness, that, Anders. Get that
I'm not sure.
It can't be me. He's too good looking to be me, that. Surely.
I mean, has he just run on the pitch, picked up a tennis racket, and just got someone to take a quick photo of him? What's going on there?
Look at that. I'm just about to backhand smash that.
I think it looks like it looks like it's a windy day, Paul, and it's like just blowing you to one side a little bit.
Do you know what it is? If you ever wondered, like, if Andre Agassi had a stroke, that's the picture.
So Paul, who were you playing then? Who?
I was actually playing my daughter, Rob. My daughter was out there with us.
Did she beat you?
No.
No.
Well, can we go back to the previous year, Tenerife? When you mentioned Rob was there, did you win your games then?
That was table tennis.
I can't. You know what it is? I can't remember that.
Rob does.
Would you like us to remind you on?
Anyway, like I say, lads, I've got to go. It's time's getting on.
All right. I mean, I can remind you on if you want.
Right, okay.
I could anyway. Right, so is that it, lads? We're going to wrap it up then, or anything else?
No, that's it.
That's from me.
So, when we were doing the review show, Rob, of
Villa, we can do it.
Is that the same night as the transfer? Well, the next
Thursday.
night,
I do it
deadline.
We'll do it Thursday.
Come on at 11 o'clock.
Thursday.
See you were signed.
Wednesday, Thursday. I'm easy.
We'll do it Thursday because that's the last day of the window, isn't it?
Yeah, so something might be happening that day, mightn't it? Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll do a live one on Thursday.
We do one Thursday.
Right, on behalf of myself and the rest of the lads, thanks for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's much appreciated. It doesn't cost anything. And right, we'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.